Well, all right. All right. Let's bring on our contestants. It's a family affair. I'm very excited. She is originally from Harlem, New York, a graduate of Borough of Manhattan Community College, owner of Miss Lolly's Kitchen, a private catering company, and the sister of Bevy Smith. Ms. Stephanie Smith Long, how are you?
Hi, Clay. I'm good. It's so nice to see you.
Thank y'all for doing this. And we also have, originally from Harlem, graduate of NYU, host of Bevelations right here on SiriusXM, and the author of Bevelations, Lessons from a Mother, Auntie, Bestie, which is available now. Bevy Smith, what's up?
I'm really good as long as everyone buys my book, Revelations, Lessons from a Mother, Auntie, Bestie. Shameless plug.
That's right. That's right. Well, after playing this, listen, it's going to be a good time. So this is how it is. It's Black Trivia Quiz. It's fun. I'm going to give you a bunch of questions. You write down your answers. Whoever has the most points wins. But it's a family affair, so everybody's a winner here. If we were in the studio, I would have gave y'all like a do-rag or some Blue Magic hair grease. But, we ain't in the studio, so
I want the bamboo earring. I want the
I
bamboo
gave Holly
earring.
Robinson Pete some bamboo earrings. That's right. So
exactly.
I'll give you all, something later. So all right. So I'm gonna give you questions. They're more like fashion, pop culture questions. It's a good time, and if you don't know, at least everybody learns. All right. Okay. First question for Black History, Black Trivia Quiz. Who was the first Black Victoria's Secret model starting in 1997? Let them think about it and process it. Who was the first Black Victoria's Secret model starting in 1997? The first one to do it. Victoria's Secret. Body, yaddy, yaddy. Think about it. Process it.
Stop, just throw a name up, girl.
I did.
Okay.
All right, let's bring it down. Let's start with Miss Stephanie Smith Long. Who do you have? Let me see it.
I got the legendary Naomi.
That's a good answer, but it's not right. But it's good though. It's good. What you got, Bevy Smith?
Got two. I hedged my bet. I got Beverly Pill or Tyra.
Tyra Banks, correct. Tyra Banks. She was the first Black Victoria's Secret model from 1997 to 2005. So you gotta love Tyra. Gotta love Tyra. So we got Bevy 1. I love it. Fashion is important, right? We got to know our fashion history, right, Bevy? We got to know these things.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Next question. This is more pop culture, but I know you all love your music. Who is the singer of the hit songs Love Under New Management, Ain't Nobody Like You, and Come Share My Love? Who sang those songs? Love Under New Management, Ain't Nobody Like You, and Come Share My Love.
We both got that, Clay. You can stop.
we good? We good?
We good. We good.
Mickey Howard. Yeah, that's right. Mickey Howard, the legend. The legend, who I want to come on my show, by the way, because I love her so much. All right, Mickey. She is the best. And the TV One movie was epic, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so it was great. So we got Bevy Smith 2, and we got Stephanie Smith Long 1. It's a family affair here. Black Trivia Quiz. All right, next question. In 1988, who became the first Black woman to be on the cover of French Vogue? In 1988, who became the first Black woman model, she is an icon, to be on the cover of French.
We're done.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's bring it down. What you got, Bevy? Naomi Campbell. That's right. The icon. What you got, Stephanie? Naomi Campbell.
Naomi.
That's right. Yeah. The cover of French Vogue in 1988. The one and only Naomi Campbell.
It's a baby face.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. And Naomi Campbell was in Bob Marley's video back in the day, Tina Turner's video back in the day. She's been grinding for a long time. Shout out to Naomi Campbell. All right, so we got Bevy Smith 3, Stephanie Smith Long 2. All right, next question. A little bit harder here.
Okay.
In 1967, who became the first Black man to be on the cover of GQ? Now, this is an iconic entertainer. So think of the time, 60s. In 1967, who became the first black man to be on the cover of GQ?
Is there a hint?
He just said he was iconic.
Iconic. I mean, it wasn't Sidney Poitier. I'll say that. It wasn't that.
Oh,
but
shit.
Iconic.
All right. Okay.
Legend.
Thank you,
Legend.
Clay.
On the cover of GQ. Think about it. Process to give you a little bit more time. All right. Let's bring it up. Stephanie Smith Long, who do you have?
Okay. Because of the times, I like Bevy hedged my bet. So I got Sammy. And if that's incorrect, I got Harry.
You got Sammy Davis Jr. Correct. No, that's correct. Bevy Smith, Sammy Davis. That's a hard one. Shout out to the. Thank y'all. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Bevy Smith.
The original was Sydney.
Yeah. Say it again.
No, I was just going to tell Clay, you got to know something about the Smith girls. We grew up in the house with Ebony, Jet, Time, Life.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You're not going to stump us on too much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's right. That's right. All right. Let's go here. A little bit of history. In the late 1950s, who wrote the column Advice for Living in Ebony Magazine? Now, this was not a fashion person. This was an activist. In the late 1950s, who wrote the column Advice for Living in Ebony Magazine? One of the most important elements of black media, one of the most important pieces of black media that you could think of at the time. Who wrote the column?
Was it an activist?
Definitely. Definitely.
In the
Late 1950s, yes. And I'll say it wasn't a woman, it is a man. Because I you would think that, but no. Advice for Living in Ebony Magazine. Who wrote
was it
that
like
column?
cooking tips?
No.
I don't know. No.
what was
It was about
And then
freedom.
the man
Write
was
down something, Steffi. I already made my choice.
All right, let's bring it down.
I put down the easy, stupid answer.
Okay, so we're ready?
Yeah, go ahead, bring it up. Dr. King, what'd you say, Bevy Smith? It's Dr. King. Bevy said Harry Belafonte. Dr. King, good for you. Stephanie Smith, do that.
That didn't even make any sense to me.
Because
Because I didn't understand if he was, I didn't know if he was giving cooking tips or.
Well, no, the great thing was Dr. King felt like I have to be directly connected to the community. So he wrote an advice column in Ebony Magazine, not like, my man cheating on me, but, like, about moving forward, civil rights, freedom and all that kind of stuff. And I think it was like parenting things. So, yeah, a lot of folks don't know that. So, yeah, but you nailed that. Go ahead. Y'all tied. We never have it this close. All right. Next question. In 2018, this is early, who became the first black photographer to shoot a Vogue cover in the magazine's 125-year history? And Beyonce was on the cover. In 2018, who became the first black photographer to shoot a Vogue cover in the magazine's 125-year history? A lot of folks may not know, but he was only 23 years old at the time.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I don't know his
And
name,
Beyonce
but
insisted upon it. Well, now you're going to know. All right, let's bring it down. All right. Stephanie, who you got? Pass?
Nobody.
No, that's all right. Bevy Smith, who you got?
I'm not sure that I have the name right, but I do know he also just shot the Kamala Harris cover to many people's chagrin. But
Yes.
I think this is his name.
Tyler Mitchell, correct, Bevy Smith. Tyler Mitchell, 23 years old. Beyonce insisted upon this photographer, shot her for the cover, and you're right. Now did the cover for Kamala Harris, making recent Black history. You gotta love that. Gotta love that. All right, let's go way back. Let's go old today. We're talking about the 1800s.
Jimmy Castor Bunch.
Say it again. Say it again.
I said the Jimmy Castor Bunch.
Right. All right. Who was the personal seamstress to the First Lady, Mary Todd Lincoln. Her husband is Abraham Lincoln. And she was the author of the book Behind the Scenes, or 30 Years a Slave and 4 Years in the White House. She was the personal seamstress to the First Lady of the United States, Mary Todd Lincoln. This is the day. And I just learned this last night when I was researching, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was just, I just learned.
That's amazing.
Less her name, I wish you had asked. Yeah.
It's the day. I just learned this because I was trying to see if there were any designers back in the day who designed gowns for first ladies.
Yeah.
And this is what I found. A personal seamstress to First Lady Mary Todd Lincoln. Let's bring it down. It is Elizabeth Keckley. Elizabeth Keckley, yes. And she wrote a memoir, 30 Years a Slave and 4 Years in the White House.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is an ancestor right there.
You should read that for Black History.
That's amazing.
Let's do that.
Hey, yes. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Next question. In the 1960s, who was the first Black designer to open her own shop, which was the first, this is a Black woman, which was the first Black-owned business on Broadway in New York City?
Oh my God. I just read this.
She's the first Black designer. And she has like 4 names, so any name will do. But she's the first Black designer to open her own shop, which was the first Black-owned business on Broadway in New York City. The day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Y'all know?
I just read this. Is one of her names start with a V?
That's close.
Valencia.
That's very close. Her name was Zelda Barbour. Oh, you did say, you're right. Barbour Wayne Valdez. Velez. I could be saying it wrong.
Okay.
See? Now we know. Anne. Wait, but you know what? There was an iconic Black designer. Was it Anne Lau?
Yes.
Anne Lowe?
And
there was
Jackie Kennedy's clothes.
You got exactly. She was. Yeah, there was a shout out there, shouting her out. All right, so we're going to do one more. Say it again.
Stephanie's winning now.
Yeah, y'all. No, actually, you're 1 point in the lead, Bevy. 1 point in the lead. But this next for the V, all right, I'll give it to you for the V. You're right. That was a hard question.
Half a
all
point.
Right. Half a point, 5.5. All right. So we got Bevy Smith 6, Stephanie Smith Long 5.5. These are sisters playing Black Trivia Quiz. The final question, y'all. You can get 3 points for this. 3 points. All right. This is our highly melanated question. All right. There have only been 3 Black men on the cover of Vogue. Just 3. Name them. You get a point for each one. 3 Black men on the cover of Vogue. Name them, and you get a point for each one. There have only been 3. That Grace, and they were doing it with somebody. It wasn't solo.
No, don't give away so much. No, go ahead, give away so much, because Stephanie's not gonna help.
Yeah, it was solo. It was solo. One is a sports star, one is a rapper, and one is a Olympian.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I had Tyson Beckford, but let me revise that.
Okay. It should have been Tyson for real.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
It should have been Tyson for real. Only 3 Black men on the cover of Vogue.
A rapper.
A rapper, a sports star, and an Olympian. The Olympian is pretty hard to get. Who actually was a track star, the Olympian.
Okay, but I knew that, so hold
on. We got Bevy Smith 6. We got her sister, Stephanie Smith Long, a 5.5.
Okay, she's had enough time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's break it down.
Don't ever play Monopoly with her. Don't ever play Monopoly or spades with her.
Oh, don't play spades with me. I'm the champion. I will knock it out.
I will slay you, Clay.
we post-COVID. All right, Stephanie, who do you have?
Okay. I have Usain Bolt, my favorite rapper, Kendrick Lamar, and everybody's favorite sports star, LeBron James, because who the hell knows?
LeBron is correct. So you have 6.5. Bevy Smith, who do you have? LeBron James, Puffy, nah, and Carl. Who's Carl? Carl Lewis.
Lewis.
Nah, but you got one. You got one. The answer is LeBron James, of course, with Giselle Bundchen, and that was controversial at the time. Remember that? That was 2008. Yeah, folks are really offended by that. Kanye West with Kim Kardashian, and I'm not mad y'all didn't get that one, in 2014, right? I'm not mad at that. And two-time Olympic champion Ashton Eaton in 2016 from Portland, Oregon. Two times. So
that is. Get out of here.
That said, we got Bevy Smith at 7. Exactly. We need more. And Stephanie Smith Long at 6.5. Bevy, you are the winner by a half a point. By a half a point. Give us your black trivia quiz speech.
Oh, say no. Lift every voice and sing. Yes, that's my anthem. But I will tell you this. My sister was my original Black history teacher, so I would not be up here accepting this award if it was not for my big sister, Stephanie Smith Long. So to you, my love, I share this award with you. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Academy. Thank you to Clay Kane.
Yes.
Thank you to Sirius XM.
Exactly. Can you all give me an idea of just what your family was like? So if there's somebody out there listening and, they have kids, because y'all are so confident, y'all are so successful and life is hard and things can happen. You can be a really great parent and a lot of scary things can still happen. But how did your parents nurture y'all to be where you are today? Stephanie, let me start with you. What was those moments like growing up with your fam in Harlem?
I reflect on that all the time, right? Because Bevy mentioned how our mom gave us so much confidence back in the day with what we call hoe dresses, right? She had the dress with the cutouts on the side. Now, a lot of the mamas in the neighborhood would look at us like, look at them. And I have a large posterior. So it was even worse for me because they were like, that big old butt, blah, blah, blah. But our mother looked at us and always instilled in us confidence and self-esteem. I thought I suffered from low self-esteem. And then when you hear people with low self-esteem talk about things they did, I'd be like, oh, child, I would never. And that's because of Lolly, Geraldine Timberlake. Our dad was very nurturing. He's the one that was with us every day after school. He's the one that cooked for us every day. He encouraged us to read and, he played games with us, cards, checkers, and then we came together as a family, usually on the weekend to do an outing or something like that. So I would say what's important is to create love and a real family unit in your home. I have 5 kids. None of them are looking really to leave the house, or they all want to hang out with me and my husband, because we have a great family unit. And that's so important, to send your children out into the world knowing that they're loved, knowing that they have the things in them. You know what I mean? And people take that for granted.
And knowing that they can come back home too. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Stephanie said that her kids don't want to leave home, and it's not that they're losers. It's just that they love being with their family. So it's not like they're people that are like, I just want to stay here and I'll be in the basement and never talk to my family. Like my niece lives alone in Manhattan, and she goes up to see her family all the time. Because she's like, I spoke to her just the other day, and I was like, why are you always going up there? She's like, I hadn't been up there in like 2 weeks, Auntie Bev. And I'm like, oh my God. So she's paying rent in Harlem, but yet she's always upstate with her family, because that's just the unit that she created. And I have to say that, our parents really instilled that in us. We were a very small family compared to many families in Harlem. And we really were like very tight-knit. as Stephanie said, we always did outings. Our father was our primary caregiver. So we were very unorthodox in a lot of ways. Our parents were much older than everyone else's parents as well. And so, you know, it was just an interesting dynamic. But there, yes, I see so much of why I'm successful in the way I was raised. And it really does come down to what Stephanie was saying, instilling really good self-confidence in your kids. And also, too, knowing from whence they came. My parents were never overly impressed by white people in the way of like, oh, you know, you gotta like, you know, make sure white people think highly of you, or you gotta be 10 times better than a white person to get any, like, no. It was like our parents instilled in us a very hard, strong work ethic, and you know, just be good to people, and you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know, basic stuff like that. But it's the part to me about us not being like overly impressed, or like, because when I had to go into very white spaces very early on, especially in fashion, I never did any of those models or any of the rich people that I encountered and was like, oh my God, if only I could have a blue eye and a blonde hair and be 6 foot tall and 120 pounds. I was like, that wouldn't even, you may be cute down here, honey, but if you come up to 125th Street, ain't nobody gonna look at you. And you know, so that's about, and that's also too the greater good of the community. And so in my book, when the last acknowledgement I give is really to Harlem, because Harlem hosted me, and it really did add on to what our parents gave us as far as self confidence and knowing thyself. Harlem really put the cherry on top.
That's just real. That's it. I mean, Cicely Tyson is from Harlem. I mean, you know, you just think about all the people that come from this. That's why it's really important to think about where we're raising our children. And, you know, I could tell you this, when I was younger, I was in Washington State with my mother, and my mother's white. She said, you have to go back to Philadelphia with your father. Because there's just certain things. I mean, I love you. You're my son. I just can't teach you as a white woman, and you're here with these white folks in Washington State. You must go back home to Philly, because I was about 11 or 12, and she saw me like really struggling with, you know, I was being called the N-word every day. She goes, this is not going to work. And so I go back to Philly. Although Philly was rough, it was violent, it was the drug wars era, but that was the best decision she made, because kind of what you're saying, Bevy, is it instilled a confidence in me that I wasn't going to have over there. And I resented her at the time for doing that, but it just made her, I don't know who I would be if I would have stayed over there and not gone back home with my family in Philly. So that's important. Say it again.
It is.
Might have been Van Jones.
Oh,
Shit.
That's why I love Bevy. Lord.